Okay, let's dive in. Think about it, just the sheer number of words you use every single day. Talking, thinking, hearing them. We just sort of toss them around, don't we?
Constantly.
But what if those words aren't just sounds? What if they actually have this deep, almost magical power to, shape the world around you, your reality?
That's exactly the core idea in the text we're exploring today. It's really fascinating stuff.
Right. And this source, it zeroes in on one single agreement, calls it the most important one for completely transforming your life.
The foundation, really.
Yeah. So our mission here is to really unpack this concept, being impeccable with your word. We're sticking strictly to what this source material tells us, the insights, the definitions, the examples.
Using only what's in the text itself.
Exactly. So get ready, because honestly, this might change how you think about language and maybe even yourself.
Well, the source kicks things off with a pretty bold claim. Your word isn't just for chatting. It is pure power.
Pure power. Wow.
Yeah, it calls it this incredible gift, something uniquely human. We use it to create, to express, communicate, and critically it says to think.
So it's not just output, it's the engine of thought, too.
Seems so. And it actually references the Gospel of John to make this point. In the beginning was the Word.
Ah, okay. Highlighting that creative force.
Exactly. The idea is that through your word, you literally manifest everything. What you dream, what you feel, who you are, essentially.
Okay, but it's not all positive, is it? The source mentions a darker side.
Right, and this is where it gets really stark. It paints the word as a kind of sword with two edges.
Two edges.
Yeah, it has this massive potential for creation.
Yeah.
Building those beautiful dream, what the text literally calls heaven on earth.
That's amazing.
But wielded the wrong way, it can destroy everything, create a living hell, as the source puts it. So this one tool, your word, can free you or can completely enslave you.
Wow, okay. A two-edged sword. So if that's the huge potential, how does the source describe the misuse of this power, this black magic it talks about?
It gives some really powerful examples, actually, pretty chilling ones. Starting big picture, it points to historical figures, like Hitler,
Okay.
describing how his words, weaponized with fear, manipulated a whole country, even smart people, getting swept up into war and, terrible violence.
So words planting seeds of fear on a massive scale.
Exactly. The source uses this metaphor. The human mind is like fertile ground. And opinions, ideas, concepts, those are the seeds. Your word is the tool you use to plant them.
And that ground is particularly fertile for fear.
It seems that way, according to the text. Often most fertile for seeds of fear and doubt. Just one little seed of fear planted, and it can apparently grow into this huge mess of drama, both inside you and out.
But it's not just dictators, right? The source brings it down to the personal level, too.
Oh, absolutely. This is where it gets really interesting. It talks about our everyday words as being like spells.
Spells, like casting magic.
Kinda, yeah. It suggests that humans, often without realizing the power they're wielding, act like black magicians, throwing out opinions, judgments, casting spells on each other.
Can you give an example from the text?
Sure. The source mentions saying something to a friend, maybe carelessly, like, oh, I see that kind of color in your face and people are going to get cancer.
Oh, that's heavy.
Right. And if the friend hears that, takes it in, agrees with it on some level, the source says that seemingly small opinion becomes black magic, a spell that could potentially even become self-fulfilling.
Wow. That really hits home. It sounds like things we might actually hear or even say without thinking. Does it happen in families too?
Constantly. The text talks about this happening during our domestication, basically, how we're raised. Parents, siblings, teachers, they give opinions, judgments. Look, that girl's ugly, or you're just not smart enough for that.
Oh, man.
And the child hears it, believes it, makes an agreement with that statement, and then they live under that spell sometimes for their whole lives.
Even if it's not true.
Even if reality completely contradicts it. Because the agreement was made internally. That belief gets locked in. You notice things that seem to confirm it and ignore everything else.
So breaking those spells is hard.
Extremely difficult, the source says. The only way out is to forge a new agreement, one based on truth. Using that other edge of the sword, the creative edge.
Okay, so we've seen the black magic side, the misuse. Let's flip that coin. What does it actually mean to be impeccable with your word, according to this source?
Well, the text defines impeccable, quite literally. It means without sin.
Okay, without sin. Now, for a lot of us, that word sin brings up, religious baggage, maybe guilt. How does the source navigate that?
This is a really key point. The source does something quite interesting. It completely reframes sin.
How so?
It defines sin not as breaking some external rule or offending a deity, but as anything you do that goes against yourself.
Against yourself.
Yeah. Judging yourself,
Yeah.
blaming yourself, rejecting yourself. That's sin in this context. In fact, it calls self-rejection the biggest sin of all, links it to a kind of inner death.
So impeccability is the opposite of that.
Exactly. It means not going against yourself. Taking responsibility for your actions, yes, but without judging or blaming yourself.
Okay, that feels different, more practical somehow.
Right. It shifts it from maybe a moralistic thing to almost common sense for self-preservation. Being impeccable, the source argues, leads to life, to vitality.
So it's really about internal integrity, being kind to yourself with your own words.
Precisely. Don't use your word against yourself. And here's another fascinating angle.
Yeah.
The source claims that even when you lash out, when you use angry or critical words towards other people,
Yeah.
you're ultimately using those words against yourself too.
How does that work?
Because you're sending out what it calls emotional poison, and you basically invite that same energy back. You generate the negativity inside yourself first, then you create conflict outside. It boomerangs.
So it connects directly to self-love then.
Absolutely. Being impeccable means consciously directing your word energy towards truth and love for yourself. And the text suggests this creates a kind of positive feedback loop outwards. It says something like, if I love you, you will love me. If I insult you, you will insult me.
So your inner state, expressed through words, gets reflected back.
That seems to be the idea. Your word creates the reality you experience, including how others treat you.
And that negative cycle, attacking others, attacking yourself, that's what
Okay.
keeps people stuck in what the source calls the dream of hell.
Exactly. The text points out that we've actually become really good at lying. It's often just a habit. We lie to others, sure, but maybe more fundamentally, we lie to ourselves.
And misuse words to spread negativity.
Yeah, our own personal poison, anger, jealousy, envy, hate. According to the source, this misuse just keeps everyone trapped in fear and suffering.
Now, the source puts a really strong emphasis on one particular type of misuse, calls it the worst kind.
Yes, singles out gossip, calls it the worst form of black magic. Right.
Wow, why gossip specifically?
It calls it pure poison. Suggests it's something we learn really early on, maybe hearing adults do it. It becomes a main way people communicate, trying to feel close by, sharing negativity.
That whole misery loves company thing.
Exactly, that toxic dynamic. The source sees it as deeply embedded in how we collectively operate, keeping us stuck in suffering.
And it uses an analogy for how gossip works.
A really vivid one, actually. It compares gossip to a computer virus.
A computer virus, okay.
Yeah, like harmful code that gets slipped into your mind, often without you even realizing it. And this virus messes with your thoughts, creating chaos, confusion, conflicting messages, judgments. The source has a specific term for this mental noise, the mitote.
The mitote, like mental static.
Pretty much.
Wait.
A thick fog in your mind. Makes it super hard to think clearly, see the truth, or even communicate properly.
Does it give an example?
It does. Imagine you're starting a new class. Someone tells you beforehand, oh, that teacher's a real jerk, or spread some other nasty rumor. You've just received that virus. Maybe the rumor was totally baseless, just came from the other person's own issues. But now you've absorbed it.
So when you meet the teacher,
You can't see them clearly. You see them through that lens of poison. You might misinterpret things they say or do. You might even pass the virus on to others. Soon, the whole class atmosphere is toxic. You hate the class. You blame the teacher.
when the real problem was the gossip you heard at the start.
Exactly. The source says the gossip itself was the initial poison.
So it's like this infectious cycle. We catch the virus, then we spread it.
Precisely. Listen to gossip, get infected, feel the need to spread it to feel better, infect others. The world just gets clogged with this stuff, according to the text.
And some people do it on purpose.
Yeah, the Force mentions that too. Calls them intentional black magicians or computer hackers, people who spread gossip deliberately, maybe for revenge or to make themselves feel okay about treating someone badly.
Trying to justify cruelty by poisoning others' minds about the target.
Right. But the source always circles back. Doing that just digs you deeper into your own personal hell. It damages the sender as much, if not more, than the receiver.
And this isn't just about external gossip, right? It applies internally, too.
Oh, absolutely crucial point. The text reminds us we're not just victims of external spells. We cast them on ourselves all the time. Through that constant negative self-talk, I look fat, I'm so stupid, I'm just not good enough, I'll never manage this. That internal monologue, that self-gossip, The source suggests that might be the most damaging way we use our word against ourselves, spreading poison inside our own minds.
Okay, wow. So we've got this immense power in words, this devastating potential for misuse, especially gossip and self-criticism. It sounds pretty bleak. How does the source say we break free? What's the path to using this power for good? For, freedom.
The source is actually incredibly direct and I think hopeful here. It states that simply adopting this first agreement, be impeccable with your word, just that one thing, has the power to clean up all that emotional poison.
All of it. Just from that one commitment.
That's the claim. It can fundamentally change everything, starting with your relationship with yourself.
How does that work practically?
Well, when you commit to being impeccable, your mind, that fertile ground we talked about, becomes less receptive to the negative stuff, the black magic coming from others. You start building immunity.
So less fertile for fear,
More fertile for words that come from truth and love, your own and others.
And there's a link to self-love again.
A direct link. The source makes this really profound statement. The impeccability of your word is directly proportionate to your level of self-love.
Meaning?
The more you practice using your word impeccably, the more you'll naturally love yourself.
Yeah.
And the more you love yourself, the easier it becomes to be impeccable. It's a virtuous cycle.
And the result?
Feeling good,
Yeah.
genuine happiness, peace.
That sounds like the opposite of the living hell mentioned earlier.
Exactly. The text makes a really bold assertion here. It says this one agreement, if you really practice it, can help you transcend that dream of hell and bring you into your own heaven on earth.
Heaven on earth through just watching your words.
That's the potential it lays out. It's presented as the direct path to personal freedom, success, transforming fear into joy and love. You become immune to all the emotional poison swirling around you.
That is incredibly powerful, almost. Almost sounds too simple, maybe. But the source insists anyone can do this.
Absolutely. It acknowledges we've all made tons of agreements based on fear and lies. But the key is, it says you can break those old agreements. You can consciously make new ones.
And where do you start?
Start by using your word for white magic, as the text puts it. And the most important place to apply that magic, towards yourself.
Countering the negative self-talk.
Exactly. It explicitly says, tell yourself how wonderful you are, how great you are. Tell yourself how much you love yourself. Use your word deliberately to dismantle those small, ingrained, suffering-inducing agreements you've made about who you are.
So the power is there, we just need to choose to use it differently.
That's the core message. If others have done it, you can too. You have the power. Use your word impeccably.
Okay. So we've really journeyed through this source material, starting with the sheer, almost unbelievable power packed into our words.
Yeah, that creative force.
Right. Then seeing how easily it gets misused, creating suffering through black magic, things like gossip, judgment, and especially that relentless negative self-talk.
Internal virus.
Yeah, but then landing on this powerful solution, being impeccable, which this text defines so clearly as simply not going against yourself with your words.
Not using your power to harm yourself.
And that single choice, according to the source, is the key to cleaning up the poison, building real self-love, and finding genuine freedom and peace, escaping that hell and creating your own heaven.
Yes, it really distills it right down to that, doesn't it? The most potent magic you possess is your own language. And the most crucial place to wield it is inwardly, towards yourself. Aiming for truth and love, starting right there. It claims that changes everything else.
It's a lot to think about.
It really is. Maybe a final thought to leave you with, directly from the spirit of the source. Knowing this potential, this power of your word, to literally create your experience, with just one small way. Starting right now, you could choose to use your word only in the direction of truth and love for yourself. What old, maybe limiting agreement about yourself could you start to challenge today with just one impeccable word? It sounds simple, but the source makes a compelling case that this single agreement holds the power to utterly transform your life.